Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshidamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vakpranashchakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharma ste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot. Let there be no self-denial of my truth as Brahman. And then what else? Let there be no denial on any side. Let me not feel like Bhagavan has abandoned me, that I am all alone, far away, unconnected to Bhagavan and far away. Let me not feel like that. And so, let there be all-round non-negation. It is about growing to a place of accepting things in life. And if we were to say, I cannot accept, what is the best thing to do? Accept your non-acceptance. I don't know, I don't think I can accept my non-acceptance. No problem. Accept the non-acceptance of your non-acceptance. Can you accept that? At some point you will get sick of me and say, yes, okay, I accept the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance of the non-acceptance. Wonderful. And don't think you are 3 non-acceptances away from acceptance, because every non-acceptance, when you accept one non-acceptance, you have accepted them all. So, Anirakaranam astu. And let there be no negation for me. Anirakaranam me astu. And then the last line, Tad Atmani nirate. Tad Atmani, in that I, here, nirate. Nirate means the one who is completely engrossed in, committed to. In the one that is committed to what? Committed to Atma, the one who is committed in me. Who is that me? Mama mumukshoho. For this me who is a mumukshu, and Atmani nirate means the one that is committed to this teaching, the one that is committed to this vision of no division, the one that is here for the long haul, not just कादाचित कहा. What is कादाचित कहा? कभी कभी मेरे दिल में वेदांत का ख्याल आता है. No, not that kind of a person. A person who is committed. Atmani nirate. For the one, Atmani prema kurvati. the Tika says, the one who is in love with the self, who wants to know the self, for that person, for that kind of a me, ye Upanishadsu dharmaha, all the dharmas of the Upanishads, what are the dharmas? Shama, Dama, Uparati, those are the dharmas to have, to calculate, to acquire, and to see, to reckon myself, to see where I am and what is it that I need. So these are the Upanishad dharmas. May they rest in me in full measure. Te mai santu, te mai santu. And then, what else is there? Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Trihi Uktihi. What is Trirukti? 3 times Shanti. Why? Because one time is not enough. Why is one time not enough? One time is not enough because there are disturbances from various quarters, let us say. There are disturbances from various quarters, not really disturbances from various quarters, but really speaking, there are areas of disturbance which are divided into 3. 3 areas of disturbance are talked about. And what are they? Adhidaivika, Adhibhautika, Adhyatmika. Adhidaivika, centered on things beyond our control. We don't know how to control those things at all. These are called Adhidaivika Ashantihi. Tsunami, earthquake, all these things we can't predict. We don't know when they are going to be, and we don't know when they are going to take us away. Like COVID. COVID was actually good for Vedanta. Yes. That's why I call it the Karuna virus. Yes, because it brought a lot of people to Vedanta. So, therefore, the certain things you cannot predict, and they are the cause of disturbances. So that is Adhidaivika Ashanti. And then, what else do we have? Adhibhautika. Everything else is going well. No tsunamis, no floods, no earthquake, no snowstorm, no desert storm, nothing. Everything is fine. But my mind is disturbed. Why is my mind disturbed? I look around to see who all has come for the retreat. I know I'm here. I'm an adhikari. But what is this idiot doing here? So annoying they are. They come year after year and they are so annoying. Why are they here? Number one. And number two, why do they insist on sitting next to me? And so, this is what is called Adhibhautika Ashanti. Problems connected to my surroundings. I'm not able to reckon with that. And then finally, everything is okay. And then what? In the middle of the class, I go like this, glazed look. Yeah. I have checked out. Before Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. Yes. After Purnamadaha, what can you do? You can check out, no problem. That means permission to check out is there. But before Purnamadaha, before the closing prayer, if you check out, that means there is some disturbance within. You don't need anybody annoying. You don't need acts of Bhagavan, so to speak. What do you need? Just your own mind is enough. And that mind takes you on for a ride. No longer available for Vedanta, for Shravanam. And so the word Shantihi, 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 Triruktihi, the 3 times mentioned, is there for what? Is there to alleviate all this from oneself, all these sources of obstacles from oneself. And then this is the Shanti mantra for the Samaveda. The Samaveda is as we saw, is a Sang Veda, and this singing Veda is where this particular Upanishad comes. And let's see, where is the text? I'm looking for the text on my computer. Does anybody have a spare book to keep here? What about you? You have one more? Okay. So then, the text begins, the Upanishad begins. You can repeat. Shvetaketuhu Aruneyah Asa Tagumha Pita Uvacha Shvetaketu Vasa Brahmacharyam Navai Somya Asmat Kulinaha Ananochya Brahma Bandhuriva Bhavati iti. So there is a story, Akhyayika. Akhyayika means like a baby story. The story is not necessary to give the teaching. Nobody needs a story. But everybody loves a story. That's why the story is given, because you can relate to the characters. And when the characters are there, they are up and strong, they are right there, and that makes for a nice story. Story means some masala will be there, some seasoning will be there, and it will have many tastes. Virya will be there, it will have its own flavor. And then, so that's why the story is the madhyama, is the medium for the teaching to go through. And the story, we are told, is in the form of a dialogue. All the Upanishads are in the form of a dialogue, a fruitful, special dialogue between the teacher and the taught. What is that called? Samvada. Yeah, Arthaspuranam is a little late today, but it's coming. Let's keep it coming. I'm happy. So, Samvada. Samvada. Vada means just talk between two equals. Let's go to the movies, says one. The other one says, no, let's go out to dinner. And the third one says, no, let's do both. This is Vada. Samvada means a special kind of fruitful dialogue where the student asks for the knowledge and the teacher responds by giving the knowledge. And so the teaching is in the form of the dialogue. Sometimes we know the names of the teacher and the student. Here what? Uddalaka and Shvetaketu. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna and Krishna. Or Krishna and Arjuna. And then who else? Angiras and then Shaunaka in the Mundaka Upanishad. But in certain other Upanishads, and Nachiketa, Lord Yama, we know that. But in certain other Upanishads, we don't know the name of the teacher, nor the students' names we know. But we know it's a dialogue, we know it is there. Even in the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a dialogue. How do we know? Because suddenly a question is asked. Leaving this world, where does the jnani go? Asman lokat pretya kaschana gacchati. 3 times, that plutaswara. 3 times means it's a question here. Aho vidvan amul lokam pretya kaschit samashnuta. That's a question. Doesn't sound like a question, but that's an ancient question, okay? Yeah. Here sometimes when people talk, especially people from California, when they talk also it's like a question. I've never understood that. Anything they say is like a question. I suppose it's like the West Coast culture, not sure. But anything they say comes out like a question. And here, this is an ancient question with this raga, 3 times, Plutaswara, 3 times, it's a question. So if the question is there, that means what? Questioner is there. Otherwise the question doesn't drop from the sky. And the answer is given. The answer also does not drop from the sky. The answerer is there, teacher is there, student is there in every Upanishad. Here also it's not an exception. So the story is for 2 reasons. The story is to make one understand the purport of this dialogue and to know that this is not something to be believed. This is something to be understood. That's why there has to be a dialogue. Somebody has to ask a question, and the teacher responds, and the student doesn't understand. Bhuya eva bhagavan vijñāpayatu bhavan. So please teach me again. Tell me this again. And so that means there is an interaction. That means there is a comprehension. Sometimes there is non-comprehension. And that non-comprehension has to be converted to comprehension. How? Only in the form of question and answer. No other way can we do this. And so therefore, here also, that is the purpose of the dialogue. The purpose of the dialogue is to make this teaching easily assimilable in the form of the story. And the purpose of the dialogue is also to show that this is not a matter for belief. You are Brahman, you are whole and limitless. I believe you. Say no more, dear teacher. Let's go home early. Let the retreat finish. I believe you. Tat Tvam Asi. I believe you. Tad Brahma Aham Asmi. I believe you. This is not going to work. Because this is not based on a belief. It is you. You exist. Yes, teacher, I believe you. Nobody says that. Your existence, just like it doesn't even have to be pointed out, it is so clear. See, that clear this knowledge has to become. And so it is not a belief-based knowledge, it's something based on understanding. And so the dialogue starts, and the dialogue, what does the dialogue say? So the dialogue starts, and then it says, Shvetaketuhu. Shvetaketuhu Asa. Asa means was there. And who is this Shvetaketu? You know, a person is known by their lineage. So by their lineage, the person is known in ancient India. Aruneyaha Shvetaketuhu. So the word Aruneyaha is what? Qualifying Shvetaketu. Who is this Aruneyaha? Another name of Shvetaketu. This is what is beautiful in Sanskrit, Tadhita. Tadhita means how to make a noun from a noun. Arunaha is the name. Aruna is the name, and then Arunasya apatyam, the son of Aruna, Arunihi. Who is Arunihi? Uddalaka, Shvetaketu's father. But Shvetaketu is what? Aruneyaha, Arunasya pautraha, Aruneyaha. Another suffix. With all these suffixes mean one word. So in English, how many words? Son of Aruna, 3 words. In Sanskrit, Arunihi, 1 word. And then grandson of Aruna, another 3 words. 1 hyphenated word, grandson we can say. So another 3 words. And Aruneyaha, 1 word. Sanskrit is a very, very compact language. Arunasya putraha, son of Aruna, Arunihi, which is the name of Uddalaka. Uddalakaha Arunihi, because there could be so many Uddalakas, it's a common name, like John or Jim in the West. So many Johns are there, so many Jims are there. Which Jim? Oh, the one who lives here. Oh, the one who is married to so and so. Oh, the one who is in the army. Oh, the one who is the son of so and so. So these are all identifying features. Which kind of Uddalaka? Arunihi Uddalaka. Which Shvetaketu? Because probably Shvetaketu was also a common name. Shvetaketu means white comet. That is the name, meaning of the name. Shvetaketuhu Namataha Asa. Somebody was there by the name of Shvetaketu. Which Shvetaketu? Aruneyaha, the grandson of Aruna. So, tam, unto that Shvetaketu, ha, indeed, Pita Uvacha. Uvacha. Uvacha means said. One day, the father said. What did the father say? The father said, Vasa Brahmacharyam iti uvacha. Suddenly the father came to understand, you know what? You are 12 years old already. That is going to be told in the next line. You are already 12 years old. You haven't had your thread ceremony. And then you haven't gone to a Gurukulam. OMG, high time you went to the Gurukula. Really? Did Aruni Uddalaka say OMG? We will never know. But some kind of expression was there, an expression of surprise we see here. Like, as though, of course he knows his son is 12 years old. It is not something to be told. But still he says, you are 12 years old. That means what? He's expressing surprise. How quickly time has passed. You have grown up so quickly. You are 12 years old. And then what? Vasa brahmacharyam. You have to lead a life of a brahmachari in the Gurukula. This was the system in the olden times. At age 12, you get dispatched to the Gurukula. All teenage problems, anger due to hormones raging in the body, all that is who? Acharya's problem. Not the parents. Very nice system. The parents are like, we are free. Acharya and Acharya Patni. And who is a very much a teacher in her own right. Panini makes a difference between a simple wife of an Acharya and a female teacher. He makes that distinction. In the grammar sutras we see this. And so that means what? So Rishi and Rishi Patni take care of all these, not just one, but many such young people's issues, all kinds of authority issues, everything. And the system was that they stayed there till they were 24. At age 24, there is a ritual where they take a bath, a kind of a ritual bath. Avabhrita snanam. And after that snana is over, no longer brahmachari. Then the fellow is ready for marriage. Not yet married, not yet a brahmachari. One is in the danger zone, the twilight zone. Why is this a danger zone? In the Veda it says, Anashrami natishtet. May no one be in between two ashramas. Because that's where all the hanky-panky happens. That's where all the trouble lies, because one feels untethered by the rules of the ashrama that to which one previously belonged, and then they haven't entered the rules and the discipline of the next ashrama to which one is going to belong, but right now, neither here nor there. Ubhaya bhrashta, both ways, gone case. And so such a person, may not they live in this particular limbo for a very long time. And that's why Indian parents have inherited this teaching from the Vedas from the beginning. That's why after the children finish their studies, get a job, pressure is put for them to get married. Come on, get married now. And what do the children say? No. Don't want to get married. In India, we have an expression, married and settled. Nobody buys into that now. Married and what? Parents are settled. The children are not settled. When the children are married, the parent feels settled inside. So that is all from this only. Anashrami natishtet. If you are not in any ashrama, then there is space for mischief to come. Mischief happens in the head. Therefore, don't let that happen. So therefore, Shvetaketu was told, you are already too old for Upanayanam, the thread ceremony. And Adi Shankara, writing in the Bhashya, surmises what? That Aruni must have been like a traveling Brahmana. What is a traveling Brahmana? Who goes here and there to give discourses, who goes here and there to do pujas and the like, and who is not in one place. That's why Shvetaketu's Upanayanam was delayed. And so what does he say? So Shvetaketu, so tam hovacha pita ha uvacha. The pita said, the father said. Shvetaketu means, what is Shvetaketu? Shvetaketu is vocative, calling. Hey Shvetu, like that. Hey Shvetu, what? Vasa brahmacharyam. High time you went to the Gurukula and led the life of a student. Please lead the life of a student. Vasa brahmacharyam. Why? Why should I do this? Navai Somya. Somya means dearest one. Somya, the one who is a dear one to me, the beloved boy, you beloved one. What? Navai, not indeed. Asmat kulinaha, in our asmat kulinaha means in our family, in our clan. Asmat kulinaha ananuchya. Ananuchya means not having studied. Nobody is there who has not studied. No one is there. You look many generations. You look at me, who am I? Arunihi Uddalakaha. You look at your grandfather, Aruna, and his grandfather, their, Purvajas, all the ancestors. There is no one that has not gone to Gurukula. No one that has not directly studied. Studied what? First portion of the Veda, recitation and meaning. No one is there that has not studied. And there is an expression for people who haven't studied. What is that? Brahma Bandhu. Bandhu means friend, relative here. So, the people who keep dropping names. My great-grandfather was a Vajapeyi. Vajapeyi means has done Vajapeyi Yajna. A very difficult Yajna. Who has done? My great-great-grandfather did that. What did you do? Nothing. But I am related to that person. And my, great aunt, great uncle was a Mimamsaka. And another grandfather from this side was what? Nayayika. Like this. So many, I name drop. I go and name drop. This is my uncle, that is my aunt. I come from a family of glorious beings. Except for me. Everybody is glorious. So what is that? You are very sarcastic usage here from the Upanishad. Brahma Bandhu. So related to somebody who knows Brahman. You don't know Brahman and you have no interest in knowing Brahman, but you like to name drop and say, my great-grandfather was a sannyasi, a great Brahma Vidyacharya. And so this is the kind of name dropping to get recognition. In our family, no such person exists. And then commenting on this, Adi Shankara says very beautifully, Adi Shankara says that there is nobody in this family. And who are the people in this family? So in this family, they are all people who have directly understood the Veda. Directly understood the Veda. And so Adi Shankara talking about this dialogue says, Pita Putra Akhyayika. This dialogue beginning with a conversation between the Pita and the Putra. Who is the Pita? Who is the father? Uddalaka. Who is the child? Shvetaketu. Vidyayaha sarishtatva pradarshanartha. So sarishtatva means the essence. To make this vidya, to glorify the vidya, it is presented in the form of the story. It is presented to highlight the vidya. Sarishtatvam. So sarishtatvam means to bring out the excellence of this vidya. And then one more reason, father-son dialogue means what? The father, in teaching his son, will not keep anything back. That is the idea. Why only father-son? This is the problem with patriarchy. This is why it is father-son. It could easily have been mother-daughter, it doesn't matter. But since it's a patriarchal culture, this is how it is presented. The father teaches the son, will not keep anything back, will only give the best of the best of the best, east or west. Will not keep anything back. Whereas a musician teaching the student will give all the skeletal whatever, contours. The contours of the raga are given, but whatever is one's own style and one's own little pizzazz is kept back. The teacher is afraid, maybe this person will excel me, better not give anything. Too much. We'll give, but then certain things, certain styles, certain way of arriving back at the raga after improv, I'm not going to teach. And then what else? The cook also, teaching how other people how to cook, will hold something back. And other people should say, when I make it, it doesn't come out like yours. I don't know why. I have told everything. It's all in the recipe. When to put the masala is not told. That is the thing. And then the Shastra says, if you don't teach what you know, and if you hold this back, you will become a Brahma Rakshasa. What is a Brahma Rakshasa? A musical ghost, a cooking ghost, a foodie ghost. Whatever is the branch of knowledge that one kept to oneself, this ghost will be hanging around the tree, and anybody who goes to sleep under a tree, which is why sleeping under a tree is not such a good idea, they say. The Brahma Rakshasa will catch them, because the only way for the Brahma Rakshasa to give up the Brahma Rakshasatvam is by teaching. So we'll say, come, I'll teach you the finest ragas and how to mix two ragas and do some improv. I'll teach you, come, come, come. Does the prospective student come? No, runs away, leaving the blanket right under a tree. Runs away. The Brahma Rakshasa is not redeemed. This is just a story, okay? Don't take it seriously. Yeah. You can continue to have your cooking secrets, no problem, okay? This is just a story, so that people don't keep anything back. But here there is no question of holding back. The son is an extension of the father in so many ways. And so the father wants everything to go to the son. That's why it is in the form of the father-son dialogue. This you see in the Mundaka also. Om Brahma Devanam Prathamas Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharva Yajyeshtha Putraya Praha. So this Brahmaji told his eldest son Atharva. What did he teach? Brahma Vidyam Varishtham. This wonderful Brahma Vidya, the most exalted Brahma Vidya, he taught. And so again, from the eldest son, the father is not going to keep secrets. I'll just tell you 1/10 of Brahman and the 9/10, no such thing. I'll give you more than I received from my teacher because I want you to excel. That is the idea. So the father-son being brought here is not only for the glorification of the knowledge, but the father it is to show that we can approach this Brahma Vidya, this particular Upanishad, very, very wonderfully we can approach. Why? With full confidence that I am not being tricked. It was given from a father to a son, so therefore it will be authentic, it will be complete, and if it can redeem that son, it can liberate that son, it can also liberate me. That is the idea here. So then, what else? So, Vasa Brahmacharyam, Navai Somya, not indeed, my dear fellow, Asmat Kulinaha. Asmat Kulinaha means what? In our kula, in our clan, in our parampara. In our parampara, nobody is there. Nobody is there. Who is not there? No one is there who has not studied about the Vedas, who is not lettered in the Vedas. No such person is there. And if you don't go, you will have the dubious distinction of what? Being only that kind of a person. Being that kind of a person, and what is the kind of person? Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu is not a compliment, please understand. It's just like saying, my father is the president, my mother is this one, so and so. What are you? Related to them, that's all. That's all I have. I don't have any glory of my own. So the one shining in the borrowed feathers of other people's achievements is called Brahma Bandhu. In other words, do not be a Brahma Bandhu. What can you be? What are you? Brahman itself. So you study Brahman and you study the Veda, don't be a Brahma Bandhu. And then, what else is there here? Yeah. So here he says, Brahmacharyam navai somya asmat kulinaha ananuchya. Anuchanam means repeating. Repeating what the teacher says is called anuchanam, study. A particular kind of study which is karana parampara, from the mouth of the teacher to the ear of the students. Here we have devices to take notes, we have books, we have iPad and all these things. There in the ancient days, here was the iPad. This was the original smartphone. Yeah. Now that's why it's called smartphone. The smartness has been given to the phone. And what am I? Phony. That's all I am. I am a phony, like Brahma Bandhu. The phone, one day I asked, somebody said, can I call you or something like that? So I said, okay, what's your phone number? We can keep in touch. And the person said, I honestly don't know my phone number. How can you not know your phone number? Because it's on the phone. Why should I know my number? So like this, we have come a long way from Karna Parampara. We don't know how to repeat even our own names, and much less the Veda. But in those days, no books allowed. Even now you go to a traditional Gurukula, then the children are just there without book, pen, paper, nothing. Everything is retained here. What a culture. Amazing. The whole of one's Veda is retained here. At least one Veda. Sometimes people go in for specialization, second time, third Veda, fourth Veda, they do. But everything is retained right here. It is just brilliant. Really, really amazing it is. And so Shvetaketu is told, Vasa Brahmacharyam, because it would be a great act of shame for the whole Kula. Kula means what? Our lineage, our family, our ancestry. It will be a act. Your not going to the Gurukula will be an omission, will be an act of shame. Why? Because there is nobody like that who hasn't gone to the Gurukula. You will have the dubious distinction of being the first one who hasn't studied the Veda. And Adi Shankara says that, why did he say this? He says, Tam putram hi arunihi pita yogyam vidyabhajanam manvanaha tayoho upanayana kala atyayam cha pashyan uvacha. So why did he tell this to the son? Adi Shankara gives two reasons. First reason, Vidya bhajanam manmanaha. Vidya bhak. Vidya bhajanam. Second case, singular. Vidya bhajanam manmanaha. Bhak means befitting. So the one who is Vidya yogyam, seeing the son is very brilliant. The son is not he's not the kind who fails in anything. The son is a bright fellow. The son is amazing in his brightness, in his intellect is very well developed, seeing that, and seeing one more thing. What is this? And Adi Shankara supplies, because the Akhyayika doesn't supply. This is how we know that there is more to the story. And what is that? The Tayo Manvanaha Tasya Upanayana Kala Atyayam Cha Pashyan. So the Upanayana Kala, the time of taking a child to the Vedas, is starting 9 years old. How old is Shvetaketu now? 12. So he saw that he has not initiated the child into the Vedas. The child has not yet been initiated into the Vedas. Suddenly remembers and says, Hey Shvetaketu, Vasa Brahmacharyam. And why was this child neglected? One must not think, Aruni was a bad father, Uddalaka was a bad daddy. He did not take this child to the teacher, to the Gurukula. He did not initiate this child. So, therefore he says that atasya ataha pravasaha anumiyate pituhu. So from this Akhyayika, from this story, we assume anumiyate. We deduce what? The father must have been traveling. Tasya arunehe and uddalakasya tasya ataha, therefore pravasaha anumiyate pituhu. So for the father, there must have been a lot of travel. Maybe he went from place to place giving lectures and doing debates on Brahma Vidya, etc. Yena, because of which Swayam Gunavan San Putram Na Upaneshyati. Even though he was qualified, Gunavan means qualified. He was qualified to initiate the child into the Vedas, but did not do it, could not do it because was busy traveling. So wasn't a bad father or a neglectful father, but was busy traveling. Therefore, Shvetaketu gets initiated at what age? 12 age. 12 age. And then, Brahma Bandhu, Adi Shankara says, Brahmanan Bandhun Vyapadishati Nasvayam Brahmana Vrittaha iti. Brahmanan Bandhun Vyapadishati. Vyapadishati means proclaims. Proclaims all the famous Brahmanas as, this one is mine, that one is related to me, this one is my cousin's father's in-laws, something, somebody. Doesn't matter, you just make up some connection. This is a cousin thrice removed. And then, as removed as I am from Brahman, this cousin is removed from me, but he or she is a great jnani. We love to do this. And so Nasvataha, so what does the person do? The person says, everybody is my bandhu relative. Nasvayam brahmavrittaha. I'm not a brahmavit. I don't know anything about Brahman, but all these people are there. All these people are my people. I'm not any one of them. They are all my people. Shvetaketu, don't be a person who quotes people here and there. Be the one who is actually, you can say, I went to college, I went to university. Don't be related to somebody who went to university. So we'll stop here for a half a minute stretch break. Get up, jump up and down, do what you need to do. Won't say the closing prayer. We'll just come back very, very, very quickly, 1 minute at the most. Okay, please take your seats so we can resume. Next mantra. Saha Dvadasha Varshaha Upetya Chaturvigumshati Varshaha Sarvan Vedan Adhitya Mahamanaha Anujanamani Stabdaha Eyaya. Trouble is already starting to brew. What is the trouble? So he was now 12 years old. Okay? Saha Dvadasha Varshaha San Upetya. Upetya means Acharyam Upetya. Acharyam Upetya, having approached the teacher, meaning having enrolled in the Gurukula. And then what else? Yavat, until Chaturvimshati Varshaha Babhuva, until he became 24 years old, studied all the Vedas. Studied. How many years did he study? 12 years. Yeah. If any other number came into the head, that means you have to recalculate. Okay, so he was 12 years old when he went in, 24 when he came out. So for 12 years, he sat with the teacher along with all the other children, studied the Vedas. How many Vedas did he study? Sarvan Vedan Adhitya. All the Vedas he studied. So, and then here is where some trouble is brewing in Shvetaketu's paradise. What happened? Eyaya means punaha agatavan, where griham, came back home. Okay? Came back home. Shvetaketu returns. If this were a movie, it would say, the return of Shvetu. Okay? So, Shvetaketu returns. That's not a big deal. Every child goes to the Gurukula. Every child returns. What is so special in his return? Mahamanaha san anujanamani san eyaya. And then one more is there. Stabdaha. Stabdaha means like a piece of wood. Non-bending. Yeah. Non-bending piece of wood. Stabdaha. Yeah. You just talk to the air. Yeah. Everything is beneath you. You just talk to the air. And then what happens? Stops doing namaskara. Why? Why to do namaskara? I'm myself studied. I don't know whether you went to Gurukula or not. I certainly went to Gurukula. And so therefore, even if the person is forced to do namaskara, they have a very strange way. Yeah. No bending. Somehow, it looks like they're doing some exercise with one hand. And so like this is what? Stabdaha. So Stabdaha san eyaya. So three words qualify our Shvetaketu. So Sarvan Vedan, and then what? Chaturanapi, all the Vedas, Adhitya, tad artham cha buddhva, knowing the meanings. Veda here is excluding Upanishad, okay? For Upanishad, now he has to learn from the father turned teacher. Otherwise, if he had already studied the Upanishad, he would not be with a head in the clouds. So, Mahamanaha. Mahamanaha means what? Adi Shankara gives a wonderful definition. Mahat Gambhiram Manaha Yasya. So, somebody who thinks of himself, herself as a really serious scholar. Swayam Panditam Manyaha. Meaning, nobody is equal to me. So, Mahamanaha is a title given by themselves to who? Themselves. Either somebody else higher than you, in education, in reputation, should give you a title. Correct? Option number 1. What is option number 2? You can give a title to somebody else. Option number 3 does not exist. What is option number 3? I give the title to myself. But here he has exercised option number 3, which doesn't even exist. He says, I am Mahamanaha. In his mind, that is what he thinks, it's very clear. So, Mahat Gambhiram Manaha Yasya means what? Asamam Atmanam Manyaihi Manyamanam Manaha Yasya Saha Ayam Mahamanaha. So then I am better than anyone else. Asamam Atmanam Manyamanaha. So the one is samam means what? Equal. Asamam, unequal. So asamam atmanam manyamanaha. So the one who thinks of everybody as not his equal, he's unequal. Very interesting. I am the best, east or west. In the Gurukula University, I had what? The best GPA. Nobody was better than me. And that feeling is already there. I am the best. Nobody can hold a candle towards me. Nobody is better than me. And nobody is even equal to me. That is the second one. So what is that? First one is, Mahamanaha. And then the second one is what? Anujanamani. Anujanam atmanam manyate iti evam shilaha saha anujanamani. Anujanamani. Anujane manam yasya saha anujanamani. So the one who has pride in the way he chants or she chants or he repeats or she repeats is called Anujanamani. Starts the Sri Rudram. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Very serious and sincere prayer. But looks around to see who is listening to my flawless chanting. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. And there are all these rules in chanting. Meaning the voice should go up and down, not the head. Some people, this is Adhama chanting. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Namaste Astu Dhanvane. What are you, bobblehead or what? That shouldn't be there. There are rules in chanting. And there must not be Anga Cheshta. Anga Cheshta means needless movements. You don't get completely taken in by your... Other people can get taken in by your chanting, but you don't succumb to your own chanting. Very bad manners, to say the least. And you don't succumb to your own chanting and then just go in a trance in the middle of it. Or you just sort of do all kinds of hand movements. Some people do that. All kinds of hand movements, leg movements. So this Anga Cheshta should not be there. All these things should not be there. And then the fellow who thinks, I have got it, this is in the bag, I am not doing Anga Cheshta, I know how to go up and down, I know breath control. Let the full stop come in the Sanskrit chanting 3 pages later. I know how to modulate the breath. Did you see how I modulated the breath in the last mantra? Like this, that fellow is called what? Anuchana Manin. Anujanamani. Anujanam asya asti iti anujanamani. Or anujane manah yasya saha. For whom, in the repetition itself, there is a lot of pride. Look at me. Nobody is like this. Nobody is like this. Look at me. How flawlessly it all comes out. Anujanamani. And then, that is the next one. Stabdaha. Stabdaha apranata svabhavaha. Apranata svabhava. Pranata svabhavaha means ready to bend. Really, it's all in the bending, Yeah. Ready to bend. Why should I be ready to bend? Ready to bend means ready to receive. Ready to bend means ready to be proved wrong. Ready to bend means ready to accept. Ready to bend means ready to be taught. Ready to bend means ready for instruction. Flexible. Flexible enough to rearrange the notions that were already there in the head. They need to be rearranged. So I am not afraid to rearrange them. I am not afraid to get rid of a few notions and to be in a place of being taught. I am not afraid. So prahvi bhava, the bending ability, should be there. Therefore, we enact the bending ability by making the body bend. Very good for the waistline, every namaskara. Okay? And then also, the actual bending makes the mind and the head also bend. It's the upalakshana of what is it that bends. So bending is a form of allowing the knowledge to take place. Here there is no room. Stabdaha, like a stump of a tree, it's not bending. At least if it had branches and leaves with the wind, they would bend. But here there is just a stump of a tree. It doesn't know how to bend. It doesn't bend at all. Unbending, Shvetaketuhu, Eyaya, where Griham came back home. You should see Pujya Swamiji describe this Shvetaketu in a very modern way. He would say, shirt button half opened, gold chain, one earring, okay? Noise cancelling headphones or ear pods, yeah. Bluetooth. It's neither a tooth nor it is blue. I don't know why it is called Bluetooth. And so anyhow, it's in the ear, meaning I have tuned all of you out. I have tuned the whole world out. It's just me and whatever is there that is playing. Even if nothing is playing, you are tuned out. Shvetaketu comes like that. The parents look at one another and they are like, did he get exchanged in the Gurukulam? Is this our child? Did something happen there? Some gadbad? Something happened? Who is this that has come back? He looks like our son. He talks like our son. But he doesn't behave like what we think our son should behave like. This is not what we sent. He is so obnoxious. I mean, all these are, very politely said, but these are all obnoxious characteristics. Mahamanaha, nobody is like me. Who would want to have a child like that? And Stabdaha comes home and greets the father like this, greets the mom, hey mom. Yeah. Can't even do a proper bending namaskara. And that's why in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 34th verse of the fourth chapter, Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. To understand this, the first qualification, what is that we should have? Pranipata means you should know how to fall down properly in front of a teacher. That itself is an art. And so here, that is not there. Plus Mahamanaha, I am the best, east or west, there is all kinds of notions. And then, what else? Stabdaha, Mahamanaha, and then Anujana Mani. And the parents look at each other and then they are little worried. You can even imagine them having a hushed conversation behind the doors in the kitchen. This fellow has taken over the whole house. They are in the kitchen having a hurried discussion. Who's going to tell him? Father says, because you pampered him, he has become like this. What do you mean I pampered him? 12 years he was not even here. Poor fellow, he has become thin. Unbearable he is, agreed. But look, in the Gurukula, he has become thin, poor fellow. We should feed him. That is why he is like this, the father is saying. You go and tackle him. No, you were traveling so much in his youth. You were not around. That's why he has become like this. You go talk to him. Now the father is been appointed to take care of this fellow who is what? Mahamanaha, Anujanamani and Stabdaha. So then he has come back and then what happens? So seeing, and now that the father has been appointed as who? The one who is going to talk to him, Tamha Pita Uvacha. Yeah, Tamha Pita Uvacha. The father then says to him. So, says to him. What does he say to him? Shvetaketu Yannu Somya Idam Mahamanaha Anujanamani stabdha asyutah asyuta tam adesham aprakshya yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avijñātam vijñātam iti. Yeah. So then, what happened? The father was a little bit taken aback, seeing this person like this. And what did he say? Hey Shvetaketu. And so, Adi Shankara says, Tam evam bhutam hi atmanah ananurupashilam. Atmanah ananurupam means completely opposite of everybody in the family. Completely opposite of everyone. In completely opposite of him. Uddalaka. And Drishtva, seeing him like this, Stabdham Maninam Putram Drishtva, seeing this proud boy, unbending, proud boy who is not able to surrender, this young man whose head is high up in the clouds. So the father spoke to him. Saddharma Chikirshaya Avatara Chikirshaya. So in order to bring him back on the path of dharma, on the path of the rightful way, the righteous way of living. To bring him back to the rightful way of living, what happened? He said all these things. He said, you please, in keeping with our kulha, you are not. In fact, secretly, perhaps I would have preferred if you were a Brahma Bandhu and not somebody who had studied, because anybody who has studied the Veda should be what? Should be opposite of what you are. They should have prahvi bhava. They should be able to be very, very flexible. They should not be mahamanaha, and they should not be, what is the third one? Anuchana mani. Anuchana mani they should not be. And so that means what? That means that this is a big aberration. This is a total aberration. You have come back in a very strange way, in an almost non-recognizable way. And here, what do you say? You are a Chaturvedi, you have studied all the four Vedas, you have studied the Upavedas, you have studied the Vedanta. And then now you are Anuchanamani. Even there, what is that? What is the pride there? I have a photographic memory. I can just shut my eyes and the whole Veda flashes before my eyes. I don't have to read. And I am like this. I am the best boy in the whole Gurukula. Like that it is there. And then, so the father naturally is concerned. What is that? Because he saha ityevam shilaha, the one endowed with this kind of qualities. What are the qualities? Anuchanamani, stabdaha, etc. And then mahamanaha, etc. And so the feeling, I have so much, there's no one equivalent to me. This is what he has come back with. Then he is not worthy of anything. This is not the kind of values that comes with learning. The father understands that. So, therefore, the father has to have a talk, because it's not in keeping with the father's attitude. Father's father did not have this attitude. Father's father did not have this attitude. Where has all this humility gone? Where is the surrender? Where are the values of how the father has to, how the student has to deal with the teacher, how the child has to deal with the father? Nothing. And he has manita. Manita means Atmani Pujyatva Bhava. Means everybody should worship me. I am the one. So therefore, in order to bring him to the proper attitude, Avatara Chikirshaya. Avatara Chikirshaya means to bring him down from the hobby horse of his learning, from this understanding that he is the best, east or west, to bring him down, and then Saddharma Avatara Chikirshaya. Chikirsha Kartum Ichha. So, in order to do this miracle of what? Bringing him down from his head in the clouds and making him into a normal person. And making him to see that he is no better or worse. And if he can chant well, that is Bhagavan, that is not him. In order to make him see that, in order to make him humble and to make him have proper dharma, proper values, proper attitudes, Saddharma Avatara Chikirshaya. What did he say? He said that, you have to ask one question. He didn't say, have you studied grammar? He didn't say. Because the boy would have said, aced it, been there, done that. Have you studied Nyaya? Have you studied Tarka? All this the father was not interested in knowing at all. He asked a very interesting and a trick question. What was that question? Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati amatam matam avijñātam vijñātam bhavati iti. Did you ask for that knowledge? Did you ask for that knowledge by which, knowing which, everything that is not heard becomes what? Heard. Everything that is not known becomes known. Amatam matam bhavati. Avijñātam, everything that is not understood becomes understood. This again is in keeping with what we talked in the morning class, that this is a very important theme in the Upanishads. The Upanishads always hints at a master key, knowing which everything is as well as known, knowing which everything is known, as good as known. We saw that it comes in the Mundaka Upanishad, we saw that it comes in the next chapter of this Upanishad, and it also comes indirectly in the Kathopanishad also. In Nachiketa's question, Anyatra dharmat, Anyatra adharmat, Anyatra asmat, Kritat akritat. Anyatra bhutatcha, Bhavyatcha, Yattat pashyasi, Tadvada. Yat pashyasi tadvada. Nachiketa asks, teach me that which is other than the dyad of dharma and adharma. Because that is again a conflict. There will always be Kurukshetra, inside the heart Kurukshetra, outside Kurukshetra. Even in the ashram, sometimes silent Kurukshetra. Yeah, there are zones of silent Kurukshetra. So many things I don't like, so many people that are in conflict with me, so many things nobody understands me, all these things, these conflicts are there. So, in and through all this, what is, the right and wrong are within the time-space matrix, within samsara. So what is that which is because of which the notions of right and wrong exists, but that which is beyond all those notions? What is that? Which is other than dharma and adharma. And that which is not succumbing to time, past, future. No such thing. Does not succumb to time. Anyatra bhutatcha, bhavyatcha. And because there are so many chas, present also is included. Vartamanam. So now, the present, what is beyond time? Beyond the divisions of time. In other words, beyond all divisions. That which is beyond all divisions, which you see, you please teach me. Meaning there is something there that understanding which all these differences, these divisions can be understood. But if we focus on the divisions, all that we see is divisions. So what is that which underlies these divisions? There must be some oneness, and I want to know that oneness. Here also, instead of the student putting the question, who puts the question? Father puts the question. Sad are those days where the student, instead of the student going to the teacher, as it were, approaches the student and asks, did you ask for this knowledge? Sad days. Why? Because the desperate situation calls for desperate measures. The father cannot stand it any longer. Can't even stand 1 minute of this fellow's attitude. Rude. And then, full of himself, he comes. So therefore, to remedy this quickly, he does not wait for Shvetaketu to approach him. Why does he wait? Because Shvetaketu in his present condition will not approach him. Cannot approach him. Why? He is Mahamanaha. Asamam Atmanam Manyamanaha. And then what else? Stabdaha. And then what else? Anujanamani. Thinks too much of himself. And when somebody thinks too much of themselves, they are not going to seek help. They are not going to having that introspective quality in the mind. What is it that I don't know? 12 years have studied in the university. I still have a lack centered on myself. That's why I'm strutting around like a peacock, vain and unbending. He doesn't think that. He has got all his defense mechanisms. He has no introspection whatsoever. And so the father has to somehow prod him to become a student. And one way of prodding is to challenge him, because he's showing himself as what? Know it all. I'm the best, east or west, I know it all. Well, do you know that knowledge, knowing which everything is as well known? What will the know-it-all say? The know-it-alls will say, later on he will say, my teachers must have not known this knowledge. Look at the pride in this fellow. He doesn't say that right now, he will say that later. My teachers must not have known this knowledge because I was the best there, and they would, if they had known, they would have taught me because I was the best. He doesn't listen to the question. What was the question? Did you ask for that knowledge was the question. My teachers must not have known has nothing to do with the question. The answer that he gives has nothing to do with the question, did you ask for that knowledge? If somebody says, did you ask, what should you say? I asked or I did not ask. Simple. Two options are there. I thought of asking, but I did not ask, or it never even occurred to me to ask. That would have been an honest and a straightforward answer. But Shvetaketu is defensive because of his erudition, so-called erudition, which does not include humility. This kind of an erudition he is very proud of. And what does he say? He says, my teachers must not have known. What is the question? Did you ask? What is the answer? My teachers did not know. What is the connection? No connection. That's why the father asked this question twice in the text. So he says that did you ask for this knowledge? So if he had asked for the knowledge, and if that knowledge had been taught to him, the pride wouldn't be there. The pride is there because the knowledge of Brahman is not there. That's what the father already figured out. And knowing this, says, Hey Shvetu, yannu idam mahamanaha anujanamani stabdascha asi. You are so proud. And you have apranatta svabhava, you don't even bend. And what is this special thing you have? So, what is this? What is this atishaya? From the upadhyaya, from the teacher, what did you get? From the acharya, upadhyayat, what did you get? Kaste atishayah praptah upadhyayat. So from the upadhyaya, from the teacher, from the acharyat, acharya mukhat, what is this did you get? Kim atishayah praptah. Kaha atishayah. What is that special thing you have achieved? What is that? And so it says that did you, so there is no atishaya. In other words, what atishaya have you got? The neighborhood boy also went with you with you to what? Gurukula. Came back along with you. He is not like that. This one also, some relative, their child also went. He also came back. He is not like you. Why are you like this? What is the cause? What justifies this? Not what is the cause. What justifies this pride? What is this atishaya you got from the acharya? What is this special thing that you got? Some special dispensation, some secret knowledge we don't know. Let me try you once. Let me try to point out what you have not asked for, which is the reason for this pride. Because if you knew this, there would not be this pride. So, kim atishayah, kaha atishayah, what is this atishaya? So, he says, uta api tam adesham adishyata iti adesham means what? Adishyate iti adeshah, that which is taught. Kevala shastra acharya upadesha agamat iti etat. So this adesha that can only be gained from the acharya, did you ask for this knowledge? Tat Tvam Asi, did you ask? Did you ask? And then adesha means what? Adesha means adishyate. Adishyate, karmani prayoga, adishyate, that which is taught. Adishyate. Adishyate, or you can say, karane also you can say, adishyate anena. You can have two kinds of understanding. Adishyate iti adesha. So that which is taught is called adesha, teaching, or that which is taught because of something, through something, the adesha itself becomes a medium to teach something else. That also is called adesha. And how is it gained? Kevala shastra acharya upadeshat gamyamanah. Gamyamanam. So that which is gained only by instruction taught by the acharya, received by the shishya. That which is only gained in that way. Kevala, only ever gained is that, in that way. So, Shastra Acharya Upadesha Gamyam. That which is known through the Shastra, Shastraiva Gamyam, Shastraika Gamyam, only through the Shastra. Kevala Shastra Gamyam, only through the Shastra known. But you cannot directly read the Shastra. Who do you have to rely on? Acharya. So Shastraika Gamyam means that Shastra which is handled by the teacher, because Shastra will not talk. So therefore, Shastra Acharya Upadesha Gamyam. So that which is gained by the teaching of the Shastra by the Acharya, that is what is called this particular Adesha, this teaching. This teaching subject matter gained only by exposing oneself to the Shastra handled by a teacher, and it's not a knowledge that is dropped down, dispensed. No. It is a knowledge that is given only for asking sincerely. Not like a casual tryst. Like, let me just try out Vedanta. Just like you go to buy some outfit and you take all the outfits into the dressing room. And then what? You try them on one by one. You look in front of the mirror. Oh, this makes me look dowdy. This makes me look something. This makes me look like an idiot. You try it out and then you don't buy it and then you keep it right there and come out. You can't have that kind of a tryst with Vedanta. So you go to the shop, you try a few outfits out and come back. You're still, okay, that was an afternoon well spent. At least I tried something out. No problem, nothing lost. Even the money was not lost, which is good. But then, here is the thing. Here, this is not something to try out casually. It is something to really, it's a serious pursuit. And seeing the son act so out of line, the father has to have this particular conversation. And then, so did you aprakshyah means prishthavan asi. Did you ask? So what is this? Did you ask? Did you ask for that knowledge, for that adesha? Did you ask? Or you can do karane prayoga also, instrumentally also you can say yena va or yena upadeshena, yena adeshena, by which teaching this Brahman is taught, by which teaching Brahman is understood, knowing which everything is known. Aprakshastvam, did you ask for that? Yena parabrahma adishyate. Prishthavan asi. Acharyam, did you ask the Acharya? And what is that teaching? He himself says, Yena ashrutam shrutam bhavati. Yena amatam matam bhavati. Yena avijñātam vijñātam bhavati. And then, what is, by listening to one thing, everything is as though heard. Does that happen? No. If you listen to the sound of a car backfiring, that's just the sound of a car backfiring. If you listen to the warbling of a sweet bird which is chirping in the morning, that's the only discrete sound you hear. If you listen to some other sound, that's the only sound that is heard. Just because you listen to one sound, all the sounds are heard? Is that even possible? Yes and no. No, definitely no, but yes, from another angle. Because you're not focusing now on the sounds. The sounds are different. Ears are different. You are not a bat. The bat can hear in a different range of decibels. The bats can sense hearing. Even without really hearing like we do, they can sense the sound waves. It's different range of decibels. That's why there is something called dog whistle. Not the proverbial usage, but the real dog whistle. Dog whistle means what? You blow and blow, nothing. You don't hear anything. But the dog somewhere is going like this, stop, stop, stop. Dog is hearing. So everybody has a different range of hearing. Everybody has a different range of voice. But how can you say, when you, yena ashrutam, shrutam bhavati. That which is never yet heard becomes heard. If one thing you hear, everything you know. And what is that one thing? That because of which sound itself is. Sound is articulated because of which Brahman, and that because of which the sound is heard. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a very beautiful portion which talks about the oneness underlying everything. He says that in the drumming, people are drumming and everybody is enjoying the drumming. And there is one sound. There is one sound that is constant, And based on the constant sound, there are many sounds that are inconstant or variable. That invariable sound is like Brahman, which quote unquote underlies everything. And the variable sounds are like the various Namarupas, which are the face of the Jagat, which come and greet you as you greet the Jagat, which are the obvious manifestations in the Jagat. What is not obvious is that which threads through each and every name and form, itself nameless, formless, what? Brahman. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Mevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.